Here we go. I'm going to do a quick video here about some seed saving. I've been watching some videos of other folks talking about seed saving, and I've heard about it before and read a little bit about it. And a lot of the books talk about a lot of isolation distances and cages and lots of seemingly overwhelming details to make sure you have pure seed. But I listened to one girl talk the other day, and she's like, if there's possible cross-pollination, it's not that big a deal. She's like, I have found some new varieties that I like that way. And with the things going on in the world, and there's been a lot of seed shortages, not able to get everything you want or all the varieties you want. Different companies have been selling out of a lot of things. So when it comes right down to it, you'd rather have something that's possibly cross-pollinated than nothing at all. So anyway, I also watched a video by one of my favorite YouTube channels, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and they showed how you just slice a tomato and you put it in the pot and you put it in a dark, cool place like your basement or your crawl space over the winter. And then in spring, when you're ready to have your tomato seedlings, you pull it out and start watering it. Of course, the tomatoes, they said, will get all yucky on top and ferment and look kind of gross. But once you pull it out and start watering it, they just come up and you have more than you could use. So I'm going to try that with this one here and put those in there and see how that goes. That'll be fun to see come spring how that works out. So now I just need to find a cool dark place to hide that away. Now in one of my books here I looked up Mini Farming by Brett Markham. I have not looked at this book a whole lot, but when I was looking at seed saving, I wanted to see if they had anything to say about it. And they have here talking about dry processing and wet processing. Seeds that are naturally dry, such as spinach or wheat, you just separate them from the chaff and whatnot. And then it says here, melons, winter squash, and green peppers are wet fruit, but their seeds can be saved like dry seeds by washing them in water to remove any traces of pulp. And then we have the wet processing method, which is what I've heard about for doing tomatoes, and I've got some that I've processed that way. And so put the pulp in a pint jar and add about half the volume of tap water, swirl it around and let it sit 3 days. Gets kind of scuzzy looking in there, and then you rinse out the good seeds. So I did some of these Better Boy tomatoes that we liked, and those are the ones that have already been rinsed and dried. And then I've got some started in here, and this is a little pear tomato, yellow pear tomato, that we planted along our front fence in our front yard, and it has done very well without a lot of attention. We've maybe only watered it a few times, but it has gone on and produced. And so it's like, I like things that seem to be able to handle a little neglect and still do fairly well. It's a mild tasting tomato. I think I usually prefer a more acid, stronger flavored tomato, but definitely like things that seem to be able to hold their own. So anyway, and then let's see, back to the book here. They've got a chart here that shows which seeds you dry process and which ones are wet processed. And it looks like the sum of it is, for wet processing, is cucumbers, eggplant, squash, and tomatoes. Although it did mention that you can dry process squash seeds. So anyway, just a short little blip on that. Somebody also gave us a crimson sweet watermelon that we enjoyed thoroughly, so we've got some seeds saved from that, ready to go. As you can see here, there's also been some soap making going on this morning. Do you want to comment on that at all, John?
It's good stuff. Everybody needs some.
So anyway, there is our little clip on seed saving. Definitely look into it. It's a good thing to start practicing and learning to do. And I've also started a playlist on my channel of videos I come across that I think are interesting and valuable on that topic. So I hope y'all have a good day.